Sarah Klein, and you're watching the recap of Supernatural Season 1, Episode 3, Dead in the Water. So if you don't know, I'm doing like recap and reviews of every single episode of Supernatural. So let's get into it. So this episode starts out with like them deciding to go on this hunt. It's not because they're like, this hunt is like they're trying to find their dad on this hunt, I guess, because that was like the first 2 episodes with why it led them to those hunts. This hunt they like found in the newspaper, which like later seasons we see them online searching, and that's how they find out like where to go hunting. This they like saw like in the newspaper, and that's how they had to do it back then. They had to like look in the newspapers and see like, okay, dead cases, like missing people, whatever else. We are dealing with our first ghost story. So yeah, and like ghosts, there's so many, I feel like so many episodes of Supernatural overall are ghosts, and this one was like a ghost that was like kind of in the water and wasn't like in a house. And like, you know, when you think ghosts, you think it's probably something of a house, but like the first one isn't. And it's kind of like interesting that like I kind of said in the last episode, like, you know, the Wendigo and being in the woods, like that was a risk. Doing this was kind of a risk, but it was also kind of different and like a unique, and I think maybe that's like what maybe helped Supernatural do so well the first couple of seasons, is because they really did like research on like cool horror stories, and like was like, oh, this one spoke to them because it was like a ghost story, but it wasn't in the house. It had to do with like bodies of water in this like lake. I know they did like research, but I don't really like they did some research. I don't know if this is exactly the process, but I know there was some research involved. I don't really know with like the writing and the writing team how it really worked. What was kind of interesting is that in the 3rd episode, in the 2nd episode, there is some like female character, and pretty much the only female character in both the episodes that like Dean is into. And so I think it's kind of like crazy, like the beginning they had like back-to-back episodes where it was like a female character that like Dean was the one kind of pursuing, and kind of like it felt so similar in a way, like how it was done. Of course this one had like a son, but you know at the end like it was like a kiss goodbye, and like this one was like technically on the lips. So I think they did that to like show us a little bit different, but in the way of like what that is, and like, you know, saving the girl, it's kind of seen a lot in the early seasons of Supernatural. Like there's one female character, they gotta save her, like those stereotypes. When you also like break it down, like in the first few seasons they didn't have that much money, so they couldn't like pay for a lot of characters, and you see this like there aren't that many characters in this episode, and so like the characters they have also have to be like the villains and the reason, so there aren't that many characters, and they were able to play with it really well. I think this episode is overall still like really well done, and I mean it is interesting when it starts kills the son or something, like in a sink or whatever. So yeah, I think it was an overall good episode. I'm trying to think what else to say. I don't really remember anything else specifics, but like kind of seemed like this one was like kind of more focused on what they were doing the hunt, and less about like their other things they're dealing with, which was like the father, I guess. Overall a good episode of Supernatural, and I feel like the show feels like easy to watch in a way, which is crazy. And maybe I didn't realize this because I only watched like certain episodes at certain times, but like it flows still like nicely, and it's just like an easy show to watch, which I think is like great. So that is my recap of the 3rd episode of Supernatural. So comment below your thoughts, and I'll watch the 4th episode and post the video for that. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye.